Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to the second general session of the NCSL Strong States, Strong Nation Legislative Summit. I hope that your first day at our annual meeting was both interesting and productive. I am sure that the sessions today and in the days to come will interest you, engage you, and inspire you. It is my pleasure now to introduce the head of the Greater Boston Convention and Visitors Bureau, Pat Mascaritolo.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Madam President-elect, and thank all of you, all 9,000 plus of you that are here in Boston this week for the NCSL meeting. I'm the president of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, but I also served as the co-chair of the Private Sector Host Committee for NCSL. And I want to thank all of those companies that participated with us to put on this meeting this week. I hope that you've had a great couple of days.
Now please help me welcome the co-chair of our host committee, Senator Richard Moore.
Good morning, and I have the distinct honor of recognizing someone this morning who was, as they say, there at the beginning. The first president of the National Conference of State Legislatures was our own Massachusetts Senate President, Kevin Harrington. And it's, I think, interesting not only for a group like ours that have been in business now for 32 years, to be able to recognize and honor the legislative leader who was one of the founders of the organization, but it's been interesting for him to see how over these years this organization has grown in strength and in numbers and in its ability to both help legislators and to represent the legislative position, the state level representative democracy at the national level. Kevin Harrington, in keeping, I think, with the theme that we had yesterday morning of higher education, was really one of the authors of the major education reform in Massachusetts of the 1960s. What was known then as the Massachusetts Education Reform Commission, then known as the authors, the Willis-Harrington Commission, which rewrote both K through 12 and higher education in Massachusetts. Later, of course, as we all do in every state, we keep reforming it from time to time. But his was the major effort at that time, probably since Horace Mann began public education in Massachusetts more than 100 years before. But apart from his legislative accomplishments, for those of us who are legislators, probably one of his other accomplishments is far more personal and meaningful to a lot of us. When he was the Senate President, senators and representatives worked essentially out of phone booths in the lobby. They had lockers just off the lobby for their personal belongings, and everything was kept in their desk on the Senate or the House floor. And in 1970, we built a new state office building behind the current State House and moved many of the state agencies that were in the State House into those new offices. The night that all the agencies were out of the State House, Kevin Harrington asked his Chief of Staff, Lenny Alkins, to stay late and bring in 2 locksmiths. They went around that night changing the locks on all of the executive department doors of those vacant rooms. And the next day, Governor Frank Sargent called Senate President Harrington and said, "Mr. President, you've changed the locks on all my offices." And Kevin said, "No, Governor, I've changed the locks on all my offices, and you're not getting them back." So with that, I would like to present one of, as some of you have seen both in the magazine, some of you may have in your homes, the picture of the dome, the inside dome of your State House. And we thought that would be a fitting gift to give our founding president the view of the dome of the Massachusetts State House, where he worked for more than 20 years as a senator, 6 as majority leader, and 8 as the Senate president. Kevin Harrington.
Can you all see me? I'm grateful for the remembrance. I'm part of the original cast from Jurassic Park. Started this organization so many years ago, and it has remained, as has been written, the state legislatures remain as the great laboratories of democracy. I like to think of them as farm teams to the major leagues.
For my slogan was, even though everything is going to the dogs, this is no time to call in the veterinarian. I forget why I came here. Oh, you know, can I do one? No, many of my own constituents came from a beautiful place in Ireland, up in the west coast of Ireland, and it's known as Connemara. It's a beautiful place. You go there for arthritis, and you get it in about 10 days. And this is very, very briefly. Now, the story's told about this little farmer and his wife and his daughter, and the farmer was always being chided by his wife to do something. We need some money in this house. And so one morning he got his daughter and he opened up this little assen cart they used to bring in the turf up there, and they tethered the cow to the back, the family cow to the back of the cart, and they went to the Galway City. They sold the cow for 40 pounds. Oh, he was very happy, and he was taking the coast road back out to Connemara when they were overtaken by robbers. Yes, robbers in Ireland. They were British robbers. And the robbers took everything. And they left the poor little farmer and his daughter standing there in the middle of the road, and he says, "Dear God, now what am I going to tell you, Mother?" He says, "We've sold the cow." He says, "They've taken the ass and the cart," he says, "and they've taken the money." She says, "They didn't get the money." He says, "Where's the money?" She says, "I hid it." He says, "And where did you hide it?" She says, "In my mouth." But as she pulled the 40 pounds out of her mouth, the farmer says, "Dear God, what a pity your mother wasn't here. We'd have saved the ass and cart as well." So my name is Menino. I'm the mayor of this city. And we want to thank all of you for being here, as I say. And the Excellence in State Legislative Leadership Award, it was established in the year 1995. It was first presented in the year 1996 to honor a legislative leader who serves to maintain the honor and integrity of the legislative institution in a manner that's befitting the founding fathers that David McCulloch will soon be discussing with you. The recipient receives this engraved award as well as a $10,000 donation to a charity or organization of the recipient's choice.